Set that up. Hi, I am Connie Zabo-Schmucker. I'm Advocacy Director at Bicycle Garage Indy, and we are happy to have Freewheelin Community Bikes folks with us tonight for Spotlight on Bicycling. Just a couple of things. We started Spotlight on Bicycling because we weren't able to do our Bikes and Beer events like normal. Obviously because of the pandemic. So we wanted to support the different bicycling groups in some way over this winter. And so we started these in, I think it was the beginning of February. And so we've been hosting them, having a different organization each Monday night at 7. And so if you haven't seen the other ones and would like to, the Spotlight registration page has links to the recordings of the other groups as well. And we have one more scheduled, which is, let's see if I can get it. So the next one scheduled is the Hoosier Mountain Bike Association, Hmba, that builds and maintains mountain bike trails. If you've ever mountain biked down at Brown County or Fort Harrison State Park or Southwest Way Park or Town Run, they have built and maintain all of those trails. So we're, looking forward to hearing from them and what their plans are for 2021. And I currently don't have anybody scheduled for the 22nd. So if there are different organizations that you would like to have a spotlight, I am open for suggestions for those. So I will go ahead and stop sharing. I have a couple of polls that I'd like folks to answer. And one of them is, what type of bicycling do you currently do? And so you can, it's multiple choice, so check all that apply. And I'll give you about 10 seconds to do that. And then I'll be monitoring the chat. So if you have questions throughout or comments that you want to make throughout the presentation, feel free to put them in the chat. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the polling. And so bicycling on roads was the most, and bicycling with groups, the local bike club. We have one person who bikes for competition, and pretty much a lot of things all the way in between. So, and then the next one is, next poll is just basically I wanted to find out how you found out about Spotlight on Bicycling. And again, check all that apply. So I'll give you about 10 seconds for this one. And social media was the #1. And then it's kind of evenly split amongst a bunch of them. Okay, so that is all I've got right now. Like I said, if you have questions and if you have questions or suggestions. Oh, one of the other questions, if you could answer, since we're a fairly small group, answer in chat. If you have heard of Freewheelin Community Bikes before. So go ahead and answer that. Looks like so far everybody has. That's great. Some folks have volunteered. And donated and obtained from there. So yeah, so we have a lot of people who have heard, so that's great. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to LaNisha Clark, who is the new Executive Director of Freewheelin Community Bikes, and she will introduce the other people from Freewheelin who are here, as well as tell us a little bit about Freewheelin.
Thank you very much, Connie, for the introduction and for the opportunity to come and share about Freewheelin Community Bikes. Good evening, everyone. I want to first say thank you to the generous individuals who are joining us this evening for donating, volunteering your time. That's awesome. I appreciate that very, very much, or we appreciate that on behalf of the board and staff. So thank you so much, and thank you for joining us this evening. Any opportunity for us to share about Freewheelin is a good evening for us, so thank you. I do have 3 friends, 1 board member from Freewheelin Community Bikes and 2 team members who will be joining me this evening. And I look forward for you to meet them and introducing them. But before we get there, don't need to spend a whole lot of time introducing you to Freewheelin, but we're gonna just spend a couple of minutes sharing a little bit about our mission and history. So with that being said, the mission, there we go. The mission of Freewheelin Community Bikes is to connect youth, and specifically ages 10 to 18, with skills for life over shared passion for the bicycle. We envision a stronger, healthier, and more connected city. Start with the basics here. We do envision, again, a safer, healthier city, but again, 1 bike, 1 youth, 1 relationship at a time. We are transforming Indianapolis into a city where bikes provide access to better lives. I'm not going to go through all of the core beliefs, but I do like to have this, definitely to emphasize that we again are about the total young person in our community, at the same time making our city a better place. And we do that by creating youth leaders who can give back to the community, thus making it a better place. We do believe in positive neighborhood and community connections. And it sounds like we've done some of that with some of you who are joining us this evening, as well as we are very inclusive and welcoming of all backgrounds, abilities, and incomes. We do believe that bicycles should be an accessible and affordable form of transportation, not only just for, again, to get to work, but for recreation and healthy living. A little bit about us. We are in the Mapleton Fall Creek area, 46205, at the corner of 34th and Central. And we have been in this community since Nancy Stimson, this is a picture of Nancy, our founder, since she started it back in 2007. And I did not have the pleasure of meeting Nancy Stimson, but I have talked to board members and staff that worked with her, and I actually talked to her son this morning. And so I just enjoy hearing lots of Nancy stories. And to me, this picture brings me joy to see Nancy doing something that I heard she loved. And that was being around people and bikes. But we've been there since 2007, and we started with Broadway United Methodist Church off of Fall Creek in 29th Street, and then eventually moved to Tabernacle Presbyterian Church across the street from where we're currently located at 34th and Central. We were established as a 501c3 in the summer of 2008 and moved to the current location in 2011. So we're not an old nonprofit, we're fairly new, we're fairly young, but we feel like with our programming and our bike shop that you're getting ready to hear about, that we will make an impact on the Indianapolis community. With that being said, we're going to talk about kind of the first pillar of Freewheelin, and that's our programming. And for that, I'm going to introduce our director of programs. Let me say our new director of programs, Tyre'k Swanigan. He is probably about 1 week in or so in this new job, but he has been an apprentice with Freewheelin, and he was also the YEET coordinator, which he will talk about the YEET program, and now he's director of programs. So we're just really excited to have him on board. And Tyre'k, you have the floor.
Thank you, LaNisha, and thank you, Connie, for having us again. So hello, everyone. As LaNisha stated, my name is Tyre'k Swanigan. I am the new director of programs here at Freewheelin. Prior to that, I was one of the apprentices for Freewheelin when they first started their apprentice program. And then I left for a little bit, and clearly I came back to where I need to be. So I am happy to be back at Freewheelin and thankful to have this opportunity to share it with you guys. So with that being said, I'm going to talk a lot about programming. So Freewheelin programs, let me get this out of my way. There we go. Freewheelin programs, bicycle mechanic classes, also known as our Earn a Bike classes. It is open to youth ages 10 through 18. And the goal is to learn and earn. It's very hands-on. It's an entry-level bike mechanic course. Courses are color-coded based on mastery level, and the suggested investment is $25. So we're going to talk a little bit about our Green Apron course. So our Green Apron is also known as our Earn a Bike class. It's the introduction to Freewheelin. It teaches bicycle maintenance, riding safety, and a culture of growth. Topics covered in this class are tool identifications, use, and the safety of those tools, how to effectively fix a flat, cleaning and lubricating a chain, parts of the bike identification, riding safely on the road in a group, and inquiry-based project learning. This is an example of our what we give our kids at the start of the class, kind of like goes over every single part of the bike. It has it broken down, as you can see, from the frame, wheel, drivetrain, and the steering. And then the students are able to get more like a visual just by looking at this picture. And the goal is for them to name all of the parts of this bike without looking at the picture towards the end of the class. Our advanced apron courses. First, we'll start with the red apron. So after Green Apron, you do take red apron, and this one introduces STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. And the goals in this class are fine adjustment, precision versus accuracy, chain pitch and measure wear, friction, tension, and compression. And then our more advanced course, which is our purple apron, it introduces advanced mechanical skills. And in that class, our students learn a mechanical stress, leverage, ratios, torsion, introduction to adjustments to major bearing systems, wheels, turning, and gearing. And then at the end, they practice assembling a new bike straight from the box. And then this is our big one. This is the final Black Apron class. This class focuses on the overhaul of all major systems of the bike. And it includes disassembling the bike, cleaning the bike, reassembling the bike, and replacing all the parts to the bike. Focus on high standards and mastering competencies required by employers, and learners can identify their individual interests to ensure continual engagement and lifetime of learning. This is a youth we served within a 3-year time frame. I'll kind of go over the demographics. 42% of those students were African-American, 42% were Caucasian, 8% were multiracial, 7% identified as other, 1% was Asian, 1% were Native American. At Freewheelin, or in general, we've served a population of 26% females and males 72%, with the goal of adding more females to that, hopefully. And we served 86% of Indianapolis residents and then 12% of surrounding cities and counties in Indiana. Next, we're going to touch on youth employment and education training, also known as YEET, something that I'm very passionate about since that's what I originally started with. So with that, our youth between the ages of 14 and 18 can apply for the program. So typically our high school age students. Something new that we've implemented was must maintain a GPA of a 2.0 because we want to push our students and watch them succeed and grow with us together. In that requirement, we also ask that they bring us 2 letters of recommendations from a school and community, and then complete a YEET application. We are a paid internship program, which is hard to find, especially for youth. The beginning pay is $8.10 an hour. And then during the school year, they get at least 15 hours. And then in the summer, they get up to 20 hours. Roles and responsibilities. Process bicycle donation and general inventory. Donation day is very, very big at Freewheelin, and our youth loves it, especially our apprentices. Our apprentices eventually, after completing the apron classes, they'll be able to perform mechanical repairs on the bikes with our retailing shop with Bill and in the programming space. They get to also mentor youth, instruct classes, and lead bike rides. And they also serve as a customer representative in the Freewheelin retail bike shop. Some of the training that is that we're add in with that class or with our YEET apprentices is Freewheelin to bike mechanic apron classes, customer service training, and our entrepreneurship class hosted by Edna Martin in partnership with us. And that is also for high school students to take full advantage of if they are interested in opening up their own business, creating a business plan, and then eventually getting a loan provided from the entrepreneurship class to open up and engage with their new business. Apprentice benefits. With increasing pay, of course, comes our increasing responsibilities, of course, come with increased pay. They become a valued member of the Freewheelin Community Bikes team. They earn a bicycle after completing their green apron class. They also get referrals to other employers and post-secondary educational institutions. And upon completion, Freewheelin may offer permanent part-time employees and/or help with employment placement in the future as well. Bike Lab. Bike Lab will be starting back up soon weekly, located in the Freewheelin Educational Lab, formerly called the Back Shop. It is now called the Educational Lab in the Back Space. Ages 10 to 18 are invited. It was formerly known as Open Shop. The goal is for continued learning and opportunities for our apron students. Young mechanics explore, learn, and go beyond the classroom, and then maintaining and growing a depth in bicycle skills, knowledge, and relationships with those students. Community rides. Community rides are monthly on the first Saturday of every month, starting in May and ending in September. We will start at the bike shop at 3355 Central Avenue, located off 34th and Central at 10 a.m. And typically it was age restricted, and we are now allowing all ages to community rides.
So that brings us to the front shop. I'm Bill Rowe. I'm the Director of Retail Operations for Freewheelin Community Bikes. And I handle all of the retail aspects of our organization. We're located at 3355 Central Avenue. We're across from Tabernacle Church and the Raphael Community Health Center. We are a judgment-free area for cyclists to come to. We don't care if you ride road bikes. We don't care if you ride BMX bikes. We love all bikes. And we love talking with you about your bikes. We're open Tuesday through Friday, noon to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 5, 10 to 6. And we're closed on Sundays and Mondays. So we after a youth has entered into the apprenticeship program and they've gone through the apprenticeship program, we'll bring that youth to the front and help them learn even more about how a bike shop operates. So we teach them to treat your bike as if it was theirs, and sometimes even better if you're like me and you don't take care of your bike that well. I take care of my bike really well. We are a Fuji dealer. We sell new bikes. We sell refurbished bikes. We sell Fuji, Breezer, SE bicycles, and Tuesday. We're also a Raleigh dealer. Bikes that are donated get separated into two categories. Some donated bikes will go back to our programming for the kids. Some of our donated bikes will become refurbished bikes, where we'll go through the bike, make sure that everything's working properly on it, replace any parts that need to be replaced, and get that bike out into the world. We are a great source for tools. We carry a lot of park tools. We also have a lot of accessories and a lot of good quality used parts. In case you have that 1942 XYZ bicycle that you're searching for a part for, we might have that. We are solid quality mechanics. We can handle anything from a tire repair to suspension overhaul. And we've got some pretty quick turnaround times for right now. We'll do, if you bring your bike in, we'll do a pretty quick diagnostic. Usually takes us about 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll let you know what our suggestions are. And before you even agree to have us repair the bicycle, you'll have a full listing of what it's going to cost you, what parts we're going to use, and how long it's going to take for us to complete that repair. And now back to LaNisha.
Thank you, Bill. So as I opened and I talked about our wonderful founder, Nancy Stimson, we do take the Labor Day holiday every year to talk about Nancy through our Nancy's Ride. And that is our annual fundraiser and community ride. As we talked about previously, we do monthly community rides for Saturday of the month, and that season ends with the Nancy's Ride, community ride. So I'd like to take a moment to say that we have this event. It is annual. Hopefully those of you will stay connected with us and you'll receive some information on Nancy's Ride this year, September the 6th. And that is a local ride. We start at in between Freewheelin and Tab, I believe, right there on that block. And there's different routes that you can take. But again, we really look forward to Nancy's Ride every year. How to get involved or what's going on. There we go. We tend to get this question quite a bit. What is Freewheelin up to? What do they need? So we just like to share that when we do talk. We're always looking for volunteers and volunteers with different levels of experience and expertise. Everything from mentors to help our young, eager, upcoming bike mechanics. Our YEET youth need mentors as well. Our teens who are becoming bike mechanics. Donation days. Those are actually the last Saturday of the month that we were talking about. They are very popular, but we will have designated staff set aside to definitely take bikes those days. So donation days, again, last Saturday of the month. We do need some extra hands to help us sort where everything goes. Community ride leaders. Again, bike mechanic instructors. We have some experts. We definitely could use your voice and an extra pair of hands with our kiddos. Specialists, if you love to take pictures or you're a painter or an electrician, Freewheelin has a project for you, guarantee it. And other ways that we like to keep people involved is just connect with us. We love to stay in touch with those that we meet as we get to go out and talk about our wonderful mission. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, Twitter, and soon to be LinkedIn. So please definitely connect with us. And we're on Nextdoor as well. And we do have a newsletter so that we can keep in touch with you and let you know when Apron classes are coming up. If you know of someone who you think might love to be pick our Green Apron class and move their way up, we would love to tell you when the next class is. So that newsletter will help out with that. And we're always looking for someone to invest in the mission. So please stay in touch. Come by and see us again at 34th and Central. And with that being said, I would like to introduce our past board president, now board member, and he has been a wonderful, loyal volunteer of Freewheelin Bikes for quite some time. I'll let him tell how many years that is. But Chuck is going to talk about his experience as a volunteer, board president, and board member. Chuck, you have the floor.
Hi, thanks, LaNisha, Bill, Tyre'k, great job as always. Thank you, Connie. and everybody who's listening in. And if you don't do it, follow Dolly Craft and her bicycle adventures through Arizona right now, I believe. And I'm very jealous of her and being able to travel. Yeah, as LaNisha said, I've been with Freewheelin for a while. I had the pleasure of meeting Nancy, and people like Nancy see people like me a mile away. I'm a compulsive joiner and helper, and LaNisha is smiling because she's recognized that. Yeah, Nancy said, you need to volunteer for me. And like a week later, I was helping teach an Earn a Bike class. Of course, after going through youth protection training and background checks, we take that very seriously. And yeah, people ask, yeah, how do I get involved? Working with the kids, the youth is really rewarding. If you know something about bicycles, that's great. Working with them, just coming to our community rides and being a resource. You know, all of us, you know, have varying abilities. Some of us are faster. Some of us just love being on bikes, and the community rides fit all sorts of areas like that. I know Bill and LaNisha both commented on bikes. Our youth earn a bike, and those bikes that they are earning are bikes that have been donated by people around Indianapolis. In fact, Bill, I've got a bicycle in my garage that somebody in my neighborhood just dropped off this morning, and it's in the right size for kids. Yeah, and so we need bikes for kids from age 10 to 18, so kid to adult size. Yeah, so you know, get the word out to your friends that yeah, we could always use good quality bikes, and you know, we like to pass that on. LaNisha mentioned Nancy, and that photo of Nancy with her just her big smile, and it was just infectious. Nancy loved everyone and loved bicycles, and it wasn't, the classes were just the perfect outlet for her energy. She just loved being around the kids, and that's what really pulled me in. Just seeing the you know, just the wonderment, the first time a kid figures out how to take a tire off and patch an inner tube, and then when their mom or dad or mentor or whomever comes pick them up, they want to bring them in and show them how. Just they're so proud of themselves, and that's really rewarding to me. One of the other things, yeah, that we talked about, skills. Not everybody is a bike person, and as LaNisha pointed out, we always need help. We've got a 100-year-old building, and in fact, there was a group from the Optimist Club that came in and worked on updating our bathroom. As you might imagine, a 100-year-old bathroom really needed some help, and there were guys doing electrical on Saturday and painting on Sunday, and it's no longer a scary place. Yeah, so that's wonderful. We also need help. We've got a guy that does computers for us. He was an IT manager, retired from Lilly as an IT manager, and he's our webmaster and our all-around tech guru. So yeah, there's always a need for something at a small nonprofit like Freewheelin. I took the path of starting out as an bike instructor. I've been on countless bike rides. I developed a skill with my own children of teaching people how to bike ride. I've taught 16, 17-year-old boys who have never thrown a leg over a bicycle how to ride a bike. That's incredibly rewarding. And I think I get as much out of helping the kids as they get out of it. So, yep. So I'm sold. Freewheelin's a wonderful place, and I think we'd be happy to answer. I've seen a lot of questions coming up in the chat, and so Connie, are people able to speak questions, or are we just stuck with typing?
People can speak questions as well. If you want to unmute yourself, I will go ahead and discuss some of them. Hopefully everybody could see them, but wondered how many youth have been served since the inception or in recent years, and if the shop is pretty up to date with repairs. So the answers have come through the chat as well. The shop has been pretty busy since the beginning of February, currently a week and a half to 2 weeks out for service.
Yeah.
The past 2 years have served about 210 youth and plan on doubling that number this summer by offering summer camp.
I have to say,
And
as a bicycle guy, it's really encouraging to walk into a bike shop that actually has inventory. I know all of you have some interest in bicycling, and 2020 was rough. There weren't chains to be had in all of Indianapolis and all of the world, really. There was a point where we would get a rumor that there were inner tubes at Walmart, and everybody associated with Freewheelin would run to Walmart and buy inner tubes just so we could sell inner tubes at our bike shop. Pandemic was an interesting phenomena. Asia was shut down, global shipping was shut down, and Connie, I'm sure BGI had a similar, just an empty showroom. People would come in and would say, I'd love to sell you something, but there's nothing that I can sell you. It's opening up right now. Yeah, we have new bikes and refurbished bikes. COVID was rough on Freewheelin. We managed to, the staff, figure out how to socially distance, teach hands-on classes to young people, which is quite the challenge, and it's very impressive the way they managed to do that. And we're very much looking forward to the next few months where everybody gets vaccinated and we can go back to normal, yeah, be able to be even more hands-on with the youth.
yeah, I had a question actually. How many are usually in a class, and how many are in your youth education and employment training program?
Yeah, for sure. So due to COVID, we have limited those numbers. So we typically are only taking about 6 students for each Apron class. And that's just because of COVID. And then post-COVID, we can serve up to 10 to 12 students in our educational space, with the opportunity to also expand it to our parking lot if need be. This summer, we plan on serving at least 10 students in each session, having 2 sessions a day instead of 1 session. And that's how we will kind of, spoiler alert, include our summer camp, which I'm not going to talk too much about that. You guys will just have to stay connected and follow our social media to learn more about the programs that we are offering for our youth. And then for our apprentices, we typically hire at least 4 apprentices, and that's just what we have the grants for. However, here recently we have partnered with TeenWorks to recruit more apprentices, so we can get at least 6 apprentices.
Good job, Tyre'k, on both accounts. That's great.
Thank you so much.
Glad to hear. I also wanted to comment that in the midst of the pandemic, Nancy Ride was a few organized rides that actually happened. And as far as I know, was at least successful as far as maybe not as large numbers, but just the fact that it actually happened was exciting.
It was kind of hard to hear you. Your microphone was kind of covered, but I think I heard you, and you were just talking about like our numbers as far as enrollment. I just want to clarify before I answer.
I was saying that I'm glad to hear about your numbers. Can you hear me better, Tyre'k, now?
Yes, thank
I had
you.
my finger in the wrong place. But I also commented about Nancy's Ride, which there was a Nancy's Ride in 2020, although it was probably smaller numbers, but it was sort of exciting to actually have some form of group ride, no mass start, but it was very, very well handled, for staggered start and lunch pass outs and the whole shooting match.
Thank you. I appreciate your feedback, and we plan on growing and doing better than last year. So I hope to see you there.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Dolly. Nancy's Ride, to be honest, as a board member, I was very nervous about. And to everyone's great surprise, it was a beautiful day. We had a good number of people, and you're right, changing from a mass start, as many bike rides are, to come figure out what course you want to go on and go on your own self-guided smaller group ride. That went really well. And we had a lot of positive comments about that. Hi, Don. And yeah, we'll look to do something like that again this year. If any of you out there have a burning desire, our committee is starting up to help LaNisha and the team. And so, yeah, there's a small army of volunteers, as you guys know, to put on a large group ride like that. And so for sure, let us know if you're interested. And I see Stephanie Patterson just volunteered to help. Calling her out.
Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie. We appreciate that. I'm also going to add my email address just in case anyone or anyone wants to volunteer or anyone wants to come tour the space. I'm more than willing to do that. Since it is COVID, please come in with your mask. Your temperatures will be checked if you do want to schedule a tour, but I'm putting my email in the chat now, and feel free to email me anytime. I'll be more than willing to allow you guys in the space to see our amazing work that we're doing.
Were there any other questions for Freewheelin?
Yeah, I got one. A while back, there was a plan to let people take bikes home to work on them. And whatever happened to that?
We ran out of bikes.
Oh.
So with the pandemic and the supply shortages, no new bikes were coming in. People weren't able to buy new bikes. So instead of donating a bike after they bought a new bike, they took that bike that they would regularly donate and had us do service on it so that they would have something to ride. So I started May 23rd. We had 7 bicycles left to sell. And then we had 0 bicycles after a week of me being there until about October, or maybe a little sooner than that. But we just didn't have any bikes because they just weren't available. But if you want to take some bikes home with you, I am your guy.
So there's a bunch of bikes back in the back of the shop. What are those to be fixed, or what are those?
A lot of those bikes have already been repaired.
So in general, what's the status of, volunteering there again? I mean, do you have I doubt it, but do you have a schedule for when that might start up again?
I am the wrong person to answer that question. I'm going to pass that to someone that's not me.
Well-
Repeat that one more time for us, Stan.
I just
The
wonder
status
what,
of
if you have any schedule yet, any
Oh, schedule.
remotely planned schedule on when volunteering might start back up.
So classes, our first Green Apron class will start March 16th. So that is next Tuesday. That is a week from tomorrow. We do not have the schedule back in sync again because of COVID. We're doing everything in smaller amounts. So if you are interested in volunteering, Tyre'k, you would just reach out directly to him and we can just coordinate schedules on a case-by-case basis. Until we kind of ramp back up to a higher capacity of more people being in the back shop, the education lab at a time, we'll just kind of work with volunteers one-on-one. But
And
we
you
are
all-
getting ready to start up though, so we are in need.
And you all also find out when we need more volunteers via our social media and our newsletter that LaNisha mentioned about earlier. We'll be asking for volunteers in those whenever needed as well.
Dan, did you volunteer with Earn a Bike previously?
I've worked at the, whatever they call it, Beers and Gears nights.
Years and years.
I don't think I did Earn a Bike.
Okay. Beers and Gears, we have paused on Beers and Gears. We hope to make an announcement about Beers and Gears in the fall. It'll be post summer camp.
Okay.
And we think there will be a rebranding, so it will not be called Beers and Gears when it relaunches, but we will have that information, but it would be at the earliest fall 2021. Great question. Are there any other questions for Freewheelin?
All right, so if there's no other questions, I don't see anything else in the chat. I just want to thank again all of the folks from Freewheelin for coming and joining us and letting us know about the wonderful programs that you're doing to get youth excited about cycling and earning bikes. That's always good. And I think that will end our evening. So thank you very much. Hopefully you can join us next week when we talk about mountain biking and Hmba. So see you later.
Thank you guys.
Take care.
Thanks.